How many games will the Seattle Seahawks win in 2023? What's going on, Seahawks fans? It's your boy, Mayo Jones here, back here with another NFL record prediction. And this time we'll be doing our record prediction for the Seattle Seahawks for the 2023 NFL season. Give you my thoughts, my game analysis, see which games I think the Seahawks will win and which games I think the Seahawks will lose. So before I give you my record prediction for the Seattle Seahawks in 2023, don't forget to put a thumbs up to like the video, subscribe to my channel for more options, and don't forget to comment down your opinion below to see who you think, how good you think Seattle's going to be. Do you think they're going to make the playoffs? Do you think they're going to win the division? Or do you think they're going to slip up and miss out on the playoffs? Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. All right, the Seahawks are a tricky team to predict because we expect them to make a big jump this season, because I know last season they did so. You know, I felt bad for them saying that they were going to be a bad team last year because of no Russell Wilson. But without Russell Wilson, they was able to have a good season. So yeah, we're gonna get started with the games here. So week 1, they have to kick it off with the LA Rams. Obviously, I got Seattle winning the first game because the Seahawks are just an overall better team. They're at home. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think the Rams are going to be good this year. I mean, their defense, they're kind of going to be a rebuilding team because their defense, lost some pieces. Their offense is totally not good, especially the offensive line. And I think your defensive line can handle business against the Rams. So, yeah. Especially, I don't think they're going to have an answer for DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, or Jackson Smith and Jigaba. I think those guys are going to be too much for the Rams secondary to handle. So that's pretty much why I think Seattle, comes out with a victory here. But now that's a game where I think the Rams can definitely steal. So, but I just kind of feel like Seattle at home is tough. So I think Seattle finds a way to win that game. Next game, week 2, they got to play against the Lions on the road in Detroit. Now, this game right here can definitely go either way because last year, I believe Seattle beat the Lions on the road. Because last year when the two teams played, Seattle won that game on the road. Because the only reason why they won that game because the Lions blew it though. But you know what? I'm gonna take the Lions to get revenge on you guys because I just kind of feel like Detroit's gonna get revenge on the Seahawks because last year you beat them last year because Detroit blew that game, but this time I don't think Detroit's going to do it. I think Detroit's going to pull it off, and they're going to come through. And I think Jared Goff's going to have success against the Seahawks because, he has had success against the Seahawks back in the past, and I feel like, he's used to playing against Seattle, and, he's good. He's good playing against them. So, yeah. And I just kind of feel like that your defense is going to find a way to at least stop the run, and then I think their improved secondary is going to find a way to slow down your receivers. So, yeah, that's how I see it. And they got a pretty good O-line that can really, control your pass rush, where that can put your defense in a bad position. So, yeah, that's why I think Detroit wins this game, but I think it will be a lot closer, but I think Detroit pulls it off. Next game, they have to play against Carolina. Now, this is a game where people think that Carolina can win because they're a good team this year. Because last year, they beat you guys in Seattle, but this year, this game's in Seattle. But obviously, I'm going to say that Seattle wins this game because I won't trust a rookie quarterback on the road, especially against a good defense like the Seahawks. I just think Seattle defense is going to find a way to confuse the rookie. And I feel like, the Panthers might not have a run game like they used to. So I feel and their O-line, is not that good. So I think your defensive line can take advantage of that. I think that their secondary can find a way to at least find a way to slow down the Panthers receivers like Adam Thielen, DJ Chark and company, Hayden Hurst. So, yeah. And then I just kind of really feel like that, the Panthers' young secondary against your pass-catching group might be too much. So, yeah. So, I feel like Geno Smith is going to make some magic happen. But I think this game can definitely be close. But I think Seattle's going to find a way to win that game. Next game, they have to play against the Giants. Now, on Monday night, this is a game right here that can go either way. Now, some people might pick the Seahawks to win because they think the Seahawks, are the better coach team. Now, I know you guys have really destroyed the Giants last year. And the game was in Seattle, and you destroyed the Giants last year because, last year, the Giants, Seattle really came up through. And, the defense, the Giants defense gave up some big plays. I mean, that's pretty much why they lost that game. But I think the Giants, since the game's in New York, I think the Giants are going to win because I just kind of really feel like that. I think that the Giants, I think the Giants, are probably going to do a good job offensively, moving the ball against your defense. They have a pretty good offensive line that can really control your pass rush, that can really give your defense in a bad position. And I just kind of feel like Daniel Jones is going to make some magic here, especially against. And I feel like Darren Waller against your secondary could definitely be too much, especially Saquon, and especially the receivers that the Giants have. But they don't got much of wide receiver. I think you guys got a better receiving core than them. So, yeah, and I just feel like Wink Martindale is going to do a good job defending Geno Smith. I think their defense, I feel like their pass rush is pretty underrated. I think they'll find a way to at least get after Geno and cause some mistakes. And I think, their secondary is much improved, which I think they'll find a way to at least slow down your receivers and all that. So, yeah. So that's pretty much why I think the Giants will win this game, but I think it will be a lot closer than we expected. But I think, Giants find a way to come through, especially with the victory. I'm going to say they at least win by a touchdown or a field goal. All right, then they get a bye week. After the bye week, they have to play against Cincinnati Bengals. Now, some people might pick Seattle to win this game because Seattle can definitely control their offense in the game. I mean, the game's not in Seattle, but if the game was in Seattle, I could definitely lean towards the Seahawks. Given that the game's in Cincinnati, I'm going to go with the Bengals here because I just think the Bengals are the more complete team that has a better quarterback. And I just kind of feel like that, that the defense is definitely going to find a way to get after Geno, especially with their pass rush. They're going to find a way to stop the run. Big Lou, I think he's going to do a good job defending Geno Smith and confusing Geno. And I think their secondary is pretty much underrated and pretty talented. I think they'll find a way to at least slow down, your pass catchers and all that. So yeah, I just kind of really feel like Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd's a wide receiving group. Those guys might be too much for your secondary to handle. So I don't really know if you're going to have an answer for that because I think your secondary is just way too young and all that. But I think you guys can match up with Cincinnati. I wouldn't be shocked. So, yeah, and especially they have a good offensive line that can really control your pass rush as well. So, yeah, I think they're going to do that. So, yeah, that's why I think Cincy wins, but I think it will be closer than we expected. But I think Cincy finds a way to pull it out. All right, then next game to play against the Cardinals. Obviously, they should beat the Cardinals. I mean, the Cardinals, they're probably going to be one of the worst teams in the league. I mean, offensively, their offensive line is not good. Defense is not good. I mean, they have a new coach and all that, so they're going to be doing learning curves. And plus, Seattle has better coaching. They're at home. There's a more complete team. And they're more stable at the quarterback position right now because we don't really know who's going to be the quarterback. Whether it's Kyler Murray or Colt McCoy. Who knows? Seattle's just an overall better team, so that's pretty much why that Seahawks win. Next game, you got to play against the Browns. Obviously, this is a game right here is going to be really fun to watch. Now, I felt the Browns are going to be a good team this year. I really like what they did on defense, upgrading their front. And, offensively, they upgraded the receiving duo and all that. So, yeah. I feel like that's a game where Cleveland can definitely upset because, Deshaun Watson can do a good enough job to throw the ball in the air against your defense. And they'll do enough to move the ball against them. I mean, this game's in Cleveland. I might go with the Browns here. But given that this game's in Seattle, I am going to go with the Seahawks here because I just think the Seahawks, I just think they're an overall better team, better coach. They're at home. And I just think that their defense is going to, find a way to stop the run, get after Watson. And I think, their secondary is pretty much talented, which I think they can, handle business against the Browns receivers. They can slow down Amari Cooper and Elijah Moore and David Njoku, yeah. And I just don't think and I think Geno is think the Seahawks old line is probably going to have success against this Browns defensive line, which I think that could put the Browns defense in a bad position. So yeah, that's why I think Seattle wins this game. All right, next game they have to play against the Ravens. This is another game that can go either way because some people might pick Seattle to win because they probably do enough against the Ravens here. But I'm gonna probably go with the Ravens here because I think the Ravens they're at home, they're a better team at home, they have a better quarterback, and I just kind of really feel that the Ravens defense matched up well with Seattle. I think their defense is definitely gonna give the Seahawks offense issues. I think their pass rush is very dominant, which I think they can find a way to stop the run, and their secondary can find a way to slow down the pass catchers of Seattle. And I just kind of feel like that Lamar Jackson, he's gonna make some plays. He's gonna run through your defense. I feel like Lamar will be too much for your defense. So yeah, I feel like he's gonna run all over your defense, especially with the receivers he has. With Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and OBJ. I don't think their secondary is gonna have an answer for them. So yeah, that's pretty much why I think the Ravens win. But I think it will be close. But I think Baltimore comes through with it. All right, next game they have to play against Washington. I mean, this is another team that's very, very fascinating. I mean, Washington has a really good front four that can definitely give Seattle issues. I mean, that's a game where I think Washington can definitely win. But if the game is in Washington, I can definitely choose Washington to pull out the upset. But since Seattle's at home, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks here because Seattle is just an overall better team, better quarterback, better coach. And we don't really know who the quarterback for Washington is going to be. Is it going to be Sam Howell? Is it going to be or Jacoby Brissett? I mean, I wouldn't trust a rookie on the road against that good of a defense like Seattle. I think they'll find a way to confuse Sam Howell. I mean, their pass rush is going to find a way to stop the run, and I think they'll get after Howell. And I think their secondary can find a way to slow down Washington receivers and all that. So yeah, and also I don't think Washington secondary is that good. And so I think Geno Smith can do enough to throw the ball in the air against their secondary, and especially, I just kind of really feel like that, Washington really doesn't have any corners that can really cover DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and Jackson Smith and Jigaba. So I think those guys are going to be tough for Washington to cover. So that's why I think Seattle, finds a way to win that game. The next game, they got to play against the LA Rams. I'm going to say that you split with the Rams, so I'm going to say you drop this game right here because, Sean McVay always have success against Seattle. Last year I know you guys swept them, but I feel like this year I think the Rams are going to beat you once this year because, they played the Seahawks tough and all that. So, yeah, that's why I think, the Rams find a way to win that game. Next game, they have to play against the 49ers on Thursday Night Football. And then they played them again in Week 14. I think they'll split with the Niners. I'm going to say they win the first game. And then because, they're at home and all that. And then I'm going to say they split with them and lose the second game against the Niners because, Niners, they're at home. They're a more complete team, better quarterback, better coaching staff. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much why I think San Francisco wins. Next game, they have to play against the Dallas Cowboys. Another Thursday game but I think this game right here can definitely go either way. Now, some people might pick Seattle to win because they own Dallas, but I just kind of really feel like, that's it. Now, Seattle can definitely give Dallas some issues, though, because, they can find a way to do that, though. But this is a different Cowboys team because the Cowboys have a really fast defense. I mean, they added a corner and they added a receiver. But you know what? Since this game's in Dallas, I'm probably going to take the Cowboys to win this game because I just think the Cowboys are an overall better team, better quarterback. And I just kind of really feel that this defense feel like that their pass rush is going to find a way to get after Geno, and I think they'll find a way to stop the run. And then their secondary can find a way to at least like slow down the Seahawks receivers to find their matchups. So yeah, and plus they have a really good offensive line, and I think they'll be able to play good against your D line, which that can definitely give your defense a bad position. So yeah, that's why I think Dallas, is going to find a way to win that game, but it will be a close game than we expected. Next game, they have to play against Seattle Seahawks. Against the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a game right here that can go either way. Some people are kind of really picking the Eagles to win on the road because, Jalen Hurts, is a better quarterback than Geno. But, and I think Philly's the overall better team. But I think there's a chance that Philly can definitely give you issues on defense and on offense, which I think, their defensive line is pretty good. Their secondary is good. Their offensive line is pretty good. So I think they could definitely give you issues here. But if the game's in Philly, I could definitely pick the Eagles. But given that the game's in Seattle, I'm going to take the Seahawks. I'm probably going to take the Seahawks, to win this game because I think the Seahawks, what I think they can do defensively, I think they'll find a way to at least stop the run, give the Eagles offense issues, and I think your secondary could do a good job, find their matches against the Eagles receivers, like they'll find a way to slow down AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert. I feel like they'll find a way to do that, and I think I feel like Geno Smith can find a way to make some plays against the Eagles defense. So yeah, I think this game, even though I think this game will be closer than we expected, but I think Seattle finds a way to pull it off with a victory here. All right, so I feel like the next three games is pretty easy. So I'm gonna say this game they play against the Titans. This game can go either way though. I'm going to say they win the last three games, so I'm going to say they win against the Titans. This is a tough one. This can go either way because Steelers have a good defense. But I'm going to say since Seattle's at home, I'm going to say they win this game. And then against the Cardinals, I'm going to say they win the last game against the Cardinals to sweep the season series. Because last game against the Cardinals, say they win the Sweet Series. I have them beating the Titans here because I just kind of really feel like Tennessee can definitely pull off an upset because I think their defense is very strong and they can definitely give your offense issues. But I think the reason why I think they're going to beat the Titans because I think I just think they're better at I feel like their offense is a lot better with some weapons. I think they'll find a way to move the ball against the Titans defense. And I just kind of really feel like their defense is going to find a way to slow down Derrick Henry. They'll find a way to stop the run with their defense. Line. Now I think their secondary is definitely going to do a good job stopping the pass as well. So yeah, and I just don't think Tennessee's probably going to be a good team this year. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be. Whether it's going to be Ryan Tannehill, Malik Willis, or Will Levis. If it's a rookie again or a young quarterback against that good of a defense on Seattle, get me out of here. Seattle should easily win that game. And then last game, and then week 17. The reason why I got them beating the Steelers is because I kind of really felt that their offensive line can probably do a good job controlling their pass rush and do a good job, pass protection. and all that. And I just kind of feel like Geno Smith can find a way to throw the ball through the air against the Steelers secondary. So yeah. Yeah, I think that their defense is definitely going to find a way to stop the run, and their secondary is probably going to find a way to find their matches against the Steelers receivers. Like they're going to find a way to at least slow down, Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, and Pat Fairmouth. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much why I think Seattle wins, but I think it will be a lot closer than we expected. Last game they play against the Cardinals, obviously, I got them beating the Cardinals again to sweep the season series because, again, like I said, Arizona is probably not going to have much to play for because they're the worst team in the league and they're not going to make the playoffs. And Seattle is trying to reach to make the playoffs because they have more to play for. I mean, Seattle just has a better quarterback, they're a more complete team and have the better coach. So, yeah, that's why I think Seattle wins that game. So, ultimately, I have the Seahawks going 10-7, which that's pretty good. 4-2 in the division, 7-5 in the conference, 8-0 at home, 2-7 away. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, when you look at the schedule, look at the teams they have to play because they got to play the Rams, the Lions. They play the Rams twice. They play the Lions. They play the Panthers, the Giants, the Bengals, the Cardinals twice. They play the Browns, the Ravens, the Commanders. They play the Niners twice. They play the Cowboys. They play the Eagles, the Titans, and the Steelers. I mean, when you look at the schedule, it's not a hard schedule. I mean, I can see them being as good as 11-6, maybe 12-5. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely change my mind at the end of the day, but I think their ceiling's probably gonna be like 12-5, and then maybe their floor is probably gonna be like 7-10, 8-9, something like that. But I think Seattle's probably gonna land somewhere from like 8 to 10 wins. I'm gonna land with 10 because I just kind of really feel like that Seattle is probably gonna make a big jump, and I think Geno Smith's probably gonna take another leap after taking one last year when he won Comeback Player of the Year. I think Seattle's probably going to soar to make the playoffs. And I think, I just kind of had them in second division because I just don't really trust their defense enough to win the division. I think the Niners just have the better defense than you guys. So, yeah. And that's why I kind of really put San Fran in first in division. So, yeah. So, 7-10 is my record for Seattle Seahawks. So, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. If you agree or disagree, just let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Well, it's Emmanuel Jones, big fan. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Next video. Peace.